Hello and welcome to the sixth edition of News Central. We're broadcasting live from our studios in Abuja. I'm Neota Egbe. Our top stories like this are: President Tinubu signs landmark bilateral agreement with Turkish counterpart in Ankara during strategic diplomatic visit. Defense headquarters says troops on the trail of bandit leader Bello Turji, others in the northwest. Uganda restores internet social media access after voting period. Details in a moment. President Bola Tinubu has signed a strategic cooperation agreement with his Turkish counterpart to strengthen ties between both countries. The signing took place as both leaders held a joint press conference. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had welcomed President Tinubu at an official ceremony in the capital, Ankara. Tinubu's motorcade was greeted by 103 cavalry units on the avenue leading to the presidential complex, symbolizing the 103rd anniversary of the Turkish Republic. Erdogan personally welcomed President Tinubu at the main entrance of the complex. The ceremony was attended by senior Turkish officials, including ministers, presidential advisors, and the Ankara governor. We'll bring you more on that later on the bulletin. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has forwarded a set of judicial reform bills to the Senate, seeking approval to increase the number of judges across key courts in a bid to reduce growing case backlogs. The proposals include raising the number of justices at the Court of Appeal from 70 to 110 and increasing judges at the Federal High Court from 70 to 90. The Senate also received a request to confirm a nominee for the Supreme Court alongside a bill proposing the establishment of an alternative dispute resolution center within the appellate system. All the proposals have been referred to the Senate Committee on Rules and Business. The presidency says the reforms are aimed at strengthening judicial efficiency and improving access to justice. Away from legal matters, the Iowa Consultative Forum has called on the federal government to take urgent action following the continued captivity of worshippers abducted from Kurminwali village in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna. The gunmen attacked the three churches during service last week, abducting dozens of residents. Forum says at least 166 people are still in captivity. The spokesperson of the association in the statement said the incident highlights worsening insecurity nationwide, threatening public safety and national stability. The group urged the government to act decisively, strengthen security operations, and empower local communities to restore confidence. Meanwhile, the defense headquarters says that it is on the trail of notorious bandit leader Bello Turji and other bandit kingpins terrorizing communities in the northwest. The theater of the Northwest Operation Fantan Yaman Major General Bello Idris spoke to newsmen in Sokoto State at the command headquarters, saying that no stone is being left unturned as Nigerian troops intensify efforts to hunt down the terrorists and bandits who have now resolved to change their locations in a bid to evade capture.
Leaders of the bandit groups are being proactively pursued through all available intel, all available platforms. All things being equal, Bello Turji will soon be history to the region of Nigerian Northwest. Based on the most current intelligence received, Bello Turji, Gwaska Dankarami are currently in confusion and panic. This is because of the intensity of our current operations. They are relocating after every few hours, every few days.
Staying with the armed forces, they say some officers will face a military judicial panel over allegations of plotting to overthrow the government. A statement from the defense headquarters confirmed that investigations into the arrest of 16 officers have been concluded and forwarded to the appropriate authorities in line with the Armed Forces Act. The military says the probe uncovered conducts inconsistent with ethics, professionalism, and constitutional loyalty. The officers were detained in October 2025 over alleged indiscipline linked to career stagnation and failed promotion examinations. Military authorities described the action as a disciplinary process aimed at preserving order and operational effectiveness amid renewed public debate following earlier denials of any coup threat. And I'm being joined by Professor Aku Ambosun, a retired major in the Nigerian Army. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Professor Ambosun, some will say, whoa, from being a major to a professor, how's that working out?
Just the grace of God. God has been so faithful, and I return all the glory to Him.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes.
Let's look at this matter of the military and what's before. Let's start off with this coup situation. Last year, there were those rumors about a coup plot and then an attempted coup, rather. Then we heard that some 16 personnel of the armed forces have been arrested and detained. Now we're hearing that the investigation is done and they're going to be court-martialed. Please walk us through this process. How would it happen?
For a nation to wake up and they hear the news of a coup plot, it takes a lot of time, a lot of planning. Then maybe there's dissatisfaction in the military itself. Nigeria has gone through a lot of crisis right from the time that Abdul Salam took over. I handed over to Obasanjo. For me, I would have thought that this is the time for us to stabilize and start thinking of developing the nation and grow our economy. Then, and especially the military today, we know our military is well trained, and they have a command structure that you cannot just wake up and say you are changing any government. It can't happen now, but I look at the whole thing is a sum total of the politics we're going through. Civilians look at the National Assembly, they're well paid. And then some areas, even teachers, they are complaining they are not paid. So maybe it's a sum total of all grumbling here and there. But it takes a long time for you to say, okay, military, we've been fighting insurgency for over 16 years, going to 17 years now. Look at the Nigerian Civil War was 3 years, but this one is taking us 16 years. So the focus now would have been how can we contain insecurity within our land.
So are you saying this matter of going ahead to court-martial these officers shouldn't even be like on the table?
No. What I'm saying is that it's a very serious case because for you to plan a coup, it's not a small exercise.
But let's
because you want to change government, and I hope it is not what is happening in West Africa, the West African region.
The wave that's catching up with Nigeria.
Because Nigeria has gone past that level.
But what do you think? I mean, for an officer, and if you look at all of them, the least in the ranks there is a lieutenant colonel.
No, it's a lieutenant.
A lieutenant. But what do you think would cause an officer who's gone through a training process of years of training and service? What is it that will make that kind of officer get up and say, let's go change our government?
If you look at the first coup, 1966, the military felt that time that the civilians were not doing well. So they had some ideological inclination from what was happening in other parts of the war. They felt there was need to change them, and the military were not being taken care of. So, and that thing came, and so many of them, they knew that there was corruption in the system. So wanted to correct that aspect of it. Today, there's corruption everywhere. I learned 25th of January, there was a coup attempt in China. So people are not happy with what is happening. If you're a leader and you're not providing the required leadership, which people voted in there, then there's bound to be discontent everywhere. People are bound to complain. But Nigeria were involving where we expect things to start moving well with the changes going on with the present government.
So right now we know that the military, as it is, the Nigerian defense structure is really spread because, as you said, 16 years of fighting insurgency. There some personnel have also complained about welfare issues, not being properly taken care of, weapons not enough, and then running out. And then it looks as though the insurgents are having more sophisticated weapons than they are. What should be going on now to see that these personnel are encouraged to stand instead of wanting to look for avenues maybe to desert or want to change the government?
I'm happy that during the celebration of the Armed Forces Day, the president was able to make a commitment. He has already made a promise They are going to look at the welfare package for the whole armed forces. If you travel abroad, you discover the military are well taken care of, even pensioners. We have so many out there. They've lost their breadwinners during this crisis. We have widows, we have orphans everywhere. Government needs to take care of all of them. So I'm thinking that the whole thing is a military issue, and the media shouldn't even go in there, because it's going to take a long time. Court-martial cases, it has gone through a lot of investigation through the intelligence. You cannot just wake up and say some people planned to change government. It's a process that investigation, people were being trailed, and then they got caught.
So
we're lucky that they couldn't take place. Maybe it would have been bloody.
Oh, well, so we'll just be hoping that eventually when they're done, we'll get to know what the final decisions were.
Since the media is saying 16, and the Director of Defense Information has confirmed 16, maybe there are still other officers, assessors. You have assessors outside. Maybe you had information and you refuse to report. You can be an assessor to that case.
So in the course of
in the course of investigation,
this might happen.
Yes.
But let's before we let you go, the other bit is about what the military is even doing, saying that they're on the trail of notorious bandit leaders, and those ones have decided to also change their locations because they don't want to get arrested. Would you, in your opinion, how would you say the Nigerian defense structure has handled this whole insurgency matter now with banditry appearing to be spreading across the country?
Banditry is spreading across because there are people that have sponsored, if people are sponsoring banditry, kidnapping everywhere, terrorism, by now government would have released their names and then arrested them. They are sponsors. You see bandits with better weapons than the military, then there is something wrong in that. It's a ground designed by some people, either politicians, just to create confusion in the nation. And this has taken too long. It is not wise to fight insurgency for 16 years. Though other countries have gone through the same thing. But we need to contain this as quickly as possible so that we are planning for election next year, 2027. So if it continues like that, there's going to be crisis everywhere. So our military is well trained.
Yeah.
I believe our military is well trained.
What would you advise them to do to contain this real quick?
They need to be well equipped. They need air power. There should be air power. Just look at the operation in Gaza. Last year, it was the air that sustained them. If you have a good air power, they should be able to go in and then do mopping up with.
Nigeria has a good air power.
We
have air presence. We have drones.
They need more. They need more.
So some will say it's a question of the political will to execute the plans that are already on ground.
There's political will, and then we have saboteurs too. Government needs to check. There are people who, even in operation, they can support. They can create confusion during the operation. They leak information to the enemy, and that can delay the operation. So we need to check even those who are serving. There are people who are not ready to ensure war. You know, war is a business. Globally, it's a business.
Yeah.
You make money in war. So we have to contend that aspect. Some people don't want this crisis to stop because they're making money from it.
All right. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Professor Aku Ambosun, a retired major of the Nigerian Army. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a moment, and when we return, Onitsha market traders protest Governor Soludo's closure directive. Join us again. Welcome back. A look at our top stories at this moment. President Tinubu sends judicial reform bills to Senate, seeks increase in number of judges. Defense headquarters says troops are on the trail of bandit leader Bello Turji, others in the northwest. Uganda restores internet and social media access after voting period. Traders at the Onitsha main market in Anambra State have staged a protest following a one-week closure ordered by Governor Chukwuma Soludo. The move, intended to maintain order, has sparked anger among the market operators. Social media videos show traders flooding the market with placards, chanting slogans and expressing support for the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Security agencies have barricaded the market, deploying hundreds of personnel, along with armored personnel carriers and Hilux vehicles, to key locations to enforce the closure. Now, still on the Anambra market crisis, let's take you back to Monday. For 5 years, Nigeria's southeast has endured deep economic strain linked to the weekly sit-at-home order enforced by non-state actors every Monday. What began as a protest tactic has evolved into a recurring shutdown with far-reaching consequences for livelihoods and commerce. Although political and security efforts to curb the practice have recorded some gains, its impact continues to be felt across the region. In this report, News Central's Chinwe Ugele examines how the sit-at-home has reshaped daily life, disrupted businesses, and taken a heavy toll on the Southeast's economy.
Everybody is welcome to trade in Anambra. But if you must trade here, you must abide by the rules. And the rules are that markets are open Monday to Saturday. If you are not prepared to open your shops Monday to Saturday, then leave Anambra and go to elsewhere.
Many say this pronouncement might have been made out of frustration over the weekly loss of revenue due to the Monday sit-at-home order. The Anambra situation of Monday market closure is replicated in Aba as the Ariaria International Market, Ekoha Shopping Center, and other popular markets become shadows of themselves on any such day. The traders in Anambra State say they are willing to resume Monday trading, showing their own frustrations, even as other activities are carried out without molestations.
We can only come by ourselves, especially most of us who have personal vehicles. But we can't see transporters. And again, banking industry are not open for business. Where do we lodge in our cash? Where do we withdraw for this business?
Monday sit-at-home is not affecting us. We are coming out. But the problem that we are having is that no customers is coming. But we traders are coming to trade.
Life in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, has since returned to normal, causing residents to wonder why some people would still want to keep up with the holiday order.
There are some people that are engrossed in this sit-at-home of a thing, and one thing with people of Aba is that once they start something, they would like to continue it. It's a kind of changing the set of Saturday, Sunday to Sunday, Monday instead. So me personally, I don't like it, and I would like them to stop it.
The more you sit at home, the more you lose business. You understand me? And the Abians are known for their hard work. Sitting at home, you sit at home. Why will you get the money to pay your bills? People should be encouraged to come out and do their businesses.
Owerri and parts of Imo State used to be a deadly enclave where residents feared to step out on Mondays, but the situation seems to have changed.
We're sitting at home because we don't have a choice. And again, that time, if you come out, it's very risky. They will just come and start acting. So we were like, for our safety. But as we are sitting at home, we are not benefiting anything. So we had to come out.
We love to observe it because it is one of our respect to the leader who is fighting for the betterment of Igbos. Well, instead of you to stay at home and die in hunger, you have to come out and do your business.
Sit-at-home is not well strong again like before. Like before, you can't see more crowd in the school premises.
While Enugu adjusted earlier to correcting the anomaly, Ebonyi State still complies largely with the order. According to Governor Chukwuma Soludo, absconding from duty posts on Monday is no longer accepted in the state.
If we come on Monday and it is locked and any shop is not, we lock it for 1 month.
But how legal are his actions and policies? Analysts say residents can only flout the sit-at-home order if the government assures them of their protection. In Abia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Now, to further discuss this, I'm joined by Dr. Uzo Ngoladi, Secretary General, Forum of Southeast Academic Doctors. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Dr. Ngoladi, this matter of sit-at-home, yes, it started out as a protest, right?
Sure.
Yes, as a mark of protest, but some people have turned it into a rest day. Okay. Some will say, I visited Abia State, and in the market, someone said that for them, they come to the market up till Saturday. on Sunday, they go to church or they go out family time. But Monday, they've turned it into their rest day. They don't go anywhere.
An extension of the weekend.
Well, in Aba at that time, they said the children go to school on Saturday. They come to work. They go to work on Saturday as well. But Monday, they decided to turn their lemon into lemonade.
Okay.
So, but now it looks like things are going to be changing.
Oh, changing in what way?
I mean, we see what's going on in Anambra State. The governor has said, is either you come out or you forget your shop for the next 1 week. Is that a good reaction?
You see, it's quite unfortunate that we are facing this situation at the beginning of the year in January. You know, what Governor Soludo is doing is more or less executive rascality. That's what we call it.
That's a serious word.
Yes, a lot of people in several quarters have called it a very harsh, serious word. But then, when a leader or leaders are doing something that is unethical, engaging in unethical activities, we call it rascality. Because you cannot force people to come out. You remember that sit at home is a form of protest. Just like going on the street marches is a form of protest. And sit at home is considered safer. You are not constituting nuisance on the streets. There's no threat to life and properties. That is how sit at home came about. So if you want people to come out and operate their businesses and open their offices, come out for work on Mondays, is this the best approach? Let's ask ourselves this question. Is this the best approach? Look at what happened today. They were firing guns in the air in Onitsha Main Market. Onitsha Main Market is the largest market in West Africa. And the market has been operating for a very long time. And it's not the fault of our brothers and sisters who are traders in the Southeast that they are not coming out on Monday. You saw your interview of Vox Pop. They are even grieving. They are grieving that, look, 24 hours a day, the economic sabotage is telling on them. The long-suffering people of Anambra State are against the sit at home, and they have no choice because they fear for their lives. They see it as a risk to come out. Now you extend it by 7 days. Now times 7. You can imagine the losses that these traders are going to experience.
I've tried to interrupt you, but you stayed on this course. But there have been several directives from government to the operators to come back to work, that the security situation has been taken care of. You don't think that insecurity? You don't think
security? I'm from Anambra State. There's insecurity in Anambra State. There's still kidnappings. There's still banditries. People are still losing their lives. Their killings are still going on in Anambra State. If you say that insecurity has ceased in Anambra State, then where are your children? Where are your family members?
Me.
Soludo's family. No, I mean the government, the authorities. For instance, Soludo's children are known to be in London. Most of his commissioners and members of his executive council, their family are in London, in Canada. His aides, I know one of his aides who just finally relocated his family in Canada, and he's in Oka. So if you say that there's no longer insecurity in Anambra State, start with your family, bring your children, let them come and live with you in Oka. Let's test with your children. I mean, this is very wrong. This is trying to punish the people for a fault that is not theirs. They come to shop on Mondays. You see that market? They come to shop on Mondays, but people don't come to buy. That's why it's called buying and selling. You open your shop and people do not come. And again, you risk losing your life. Look at what happened today on Tuesday when the people came out and you locked up their shop. This is oppression. This is a clear case of intimidation. The people have long been intimidated by non-state actors. Now, the authorities are on the verge of causing mayhem. Look at the brouhaha that took place today. They were rioting. And there was chaos every day. There was chaos today. So that is what Soludo's directives has created. You cannot force the people that come out. Do you know the solution? The solution is to start a massive media campaign if you want people to start coming out on Monday. And while you're on that campaign, you must assure the people that you have put security measures on ground so that whenever they come out, they are sure that they will go home alive. Not that when people die tomorrow, Governor Soludo and the Anambra State government will send condolence messages. Oh, we will investigate it, we will look into the matter, we condole with the people, probably visit them. People do not want that again. Southeasterners are sensible, and that is why FOSAD came into this matter. FOSAD must take a position. When we have taken our position, we are here to stand up for Southeasterners. We are here to speak up and defend the Southeast. Anything that will affect the Southeasterners negatively, that is why we are a civil society organization. We are not against the government. We are not against the people. We are here to take a position that will be in the best interest of our people.
Dr. Ngoladi, we also know that in Enugu, for instance, Monday is not necessarily a sit at home anymore. A lot of people have started coming out. In Abia State as well, a lot of people have started coming out. But yet you say that what the governor has done is too draconian.
Yes.
And I mean, that's...
Yes. Because what we are operating now is a militarized democracy. This is autocracy. For instance, I saw the commissioner of information of Anambra State, Mefo, or I've forgotten his name, saying that Soludo is the landlord of main market. How can you say in a democracy? You see, we have been hearing a lot of phrases this time around. 001, somebody is 001. You are just the servant of the people. You have been given the opportunity to serve your people. So make use of that opportunity in a positive way. I expected Soludo to sit down, go back to the drawing board. How can I make these people come out on Monday? Just like you said in Abia and the Enugu State. Especially in Enugu State, people are really sure of their security because the government have put security measures on the ground. They have security monitoring gadgets now. They have facilities that monitor where security cameras are. And I give thumbs up to Enugu State governor. So we want Soludo being a professor of economics. You know what it means for somebody to be an economist? Shutting down a market? No. Oh no, what a shame. That's what happens in this our climb. In standard climbs, you cannot shut down a whole market because you are now inflicting more pain on the traders. There's no trader in Nigeria that will accept that you shut down the market. It is totally unacceptable. And we are taking it further. We are saying that if Soludo will not call off this directive, if the markets are not reopened, we are encouraging Omata, that is the market leaders in Anambra State. We are encouraging them to explore the legal angle. Let them go to court and let's even see. Let the court determine whether Soludo is operating within the ambit of the law.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Uzo Ngoladi. He's the Secretary General, Forum of Southeast Academic Doctors, FOSAD. Thank you for coming in to share your thoughts with us.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Thanks for having me.
We'll take another moment, and when we return, we'll be looking at other things in the news. Do stay with us. Welcome back. The federal government says it is renewing its focus on improving the quality and competence of teachers as a key driver of education reform. At the Nigeria Teachers Summit 2026, policymakers, educators, and development partners met in Abuja to push for a more sustainable and inclusive education system. The summit, themed Empowering Teachers, Strengthening the System, a national agenda for education, transformation, and sustainability, is also marking the International Day of Education. Our correspondent, Sumaya Abubakar, reports.
The first Nigeria Teachers Summit 2026 opened with calls for reforms as stakeholders stressed the need for consistent policies that prioritize teachers and classroom delivery. Speakers at the summit highlighted the role of teachers in national development, urging long-term investment in training, welfare, and professional growth.
No reform, no matter how well designed, can succeed unless teachers are empowered, motivated, supported, and respected.
The launch of Edu Revamp Portal, an initiative that will ensure continuous professional development for our teachers. The framework of this initiative will no doubt improve learning outcomes across the country.
Every reform is driven by a desire to make your work easier, your profession prouder, and your impact greater.
Incentives announced at the summit include expanded capacity building opportunities, the distribution of 60,000 digital tablets to teachers, and financial rewards for outstanding performance at basic and secondary school levels, including a national overall award.
It is our expectation that this national summit and award for deserving teachers will be sustained.
The connection between that global call and today's national dialogue is unmistakable. Empowered teachers are the enablers of empowered youth.
The House of Representatives, through the Committee on Basic Education, is committed to supporting these reforms. We are strengthening oversight to ensure that every naira appropriated for basic education delivers value in the classroom. Empowering teachers is not optional. It is a strategic imperative for national development, social stability, and economic growth.
I feel excited that the efforts I've been making over the years, those learners that are timid, that cannot stand, that have no confidence, that I have reinforced, that I have motivated, that even today, God is coming to remember me. So I actually feel fulfilled.
Education stakeholders say implementing the summit's resolution will be key to improving teaching quality nationwide. In Abuja, for News Central, Sumaya Abubakar.
Well, to discuss this further, I'm joined by Olushola Bankole, former president, FCT National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And welcome. Also here, joining us from the newsroom is our correspondent, Sumaya Abubakar, who's been following the story and also joining us from the newsroom. Hey, Sumaya.
Hello, Nyota.
Let me start with you. So sitting down there and seeing that your teacher, I know he or she's not your teacher, but seeing one of those teachers collect 25 million, did that bring some level of excitement to you?
Absolutely. I would say it did. It was a cheerful reaction from the crowd and myself as well when the minister mentioned that for the 12 teachers who were selected through different states, about 3 teachers per state, after rigorous, checking and making sure that they get the right people, and then they selected 1 person per every zone, to be announced that they would get 25 million naira. And this is excluding, some other gifts. We had governors from other states calling in to add more money to these people. And then the overall best got 50 million naira, got a house, 2-bedroom from his governor of Ogun State, and also got a car from another governor. Was really fulfilling. We saw so much emotion from these people. It was one speech that, resonated with me was when the First Lady said that now we see you and you know that your reward is not in heaven, which is a slogan that we always use in Nigeria, saying teachers' reward is in heaven. So it was, for me, as someone who appreciates, what teachers go through, and we, considering I have to show the round that, we've been going all through the FCT, seeing how schools have been dilapidated, and then the teachers have been complaining about lack of facilities and all of that. Seeing that appreciation of what these people go through was really fulfilling.
I'll still come to Olushola here, but let me just finish with you, Sumaya, so that, because I know you have other things you need to do for the news. There's always been that notion that, you get big shows, you have Voice Nigeria, Idol, and then they're winning, or Big Brother, they're winning millions. But now we're seeing that service in the education sector will get you some good money, at least 25 million. That's a good one.
Indeed, it
is.
Do
you think it's sustainable?
Well, this is the push, from the teachers that were present. We saw the president of the National Union of Teachers pointing that out, saying they need sustainability. I have to point out that this is the first time they're having, the Teachers Summit like this big in Nigeria. So it is giving them hope, but then they're pushing for sustainability, and we're hoping other people would take on. Because nowadays you see children and you ask them, do you want to be a teacher? And they'll tell you no. And you cannot blame them because we've seen how teachers have suffered in the country. So we're hoping this is, sustainable, pushing in order to encourage these teachers and also encourage the younger ones to also want to be teachers, because teachers are, what make the future of the nation, talking about the children.
Indeed, there is nobody today in office or out of office who's not the product of a teacher. Thank you, Sumaya. Thank you. But let me come to you, Madam Bankole. Tell me your reaction to this whole thing. 50 million naira for a teacher, considered the best overall teacher across the country.
As I was watching it, what was in my mind is to give an applause. Sincerely, that's a good one. For a long time, we've been talking about it. No nation actually develops beyond the level and the quality of education. Of course, who provides the educational services? Mainly the teachers. And so getting this kind of recognition, I'm sure is going to encourage a lot of teachers across Nigeria that, okay, we can do more.
That someday you also will get a 25 million.
Beyond that, to be candid, it's, some of us may know that, okay, beyond getting this reward, the fact that educators, teachers are recognized this way, I mean, it's something to be glad about.
There was a time when it was about, even the teachers, their pride was about their students distinguishing themselves in academics and outside. I mean, I came across a woman who taught my elder brother. She was, as at last year, she was about 98 years old. And my elder brothers were all standing there. She was like, I taught you, you used to do this, you used to do that. But the joy for her, what she said was, that I can see all my boys. I'm happy to see that you're doing well. Where is that pride? Is it still there in the teacher?
For teachers who are putting in their best, who are putting in this so much sacrifice, it's still there. And that's why, when you ask me about, the money and all that, it's a motivation. A lot of teachers who are doing great with their students, the money is a motivation, but it's not all about the money. Of course, when you impact a life, I was talking somewhere this morning and I said, I feel so proud being a teacher to the point that I believe that I'm stronger, I'm more powerful than some presidents.
Indeed.
The reason is I'm able to shape lives. I'm able to, because education, if we understand what education is meant to do, I think we also, and I want to say kudos to the current Minister of Education. We have not had it this good in a long time. The reform in the curriculum, of course, when they bring some things that are not so whatever, and people, there's the uproar, quickly, they look at it, and then, they jettison those ones. So I want to say thank you to the Minister of Education, the Minister of State, for these reforms. Of course, I'm sure they are meeting with a lot of people who are saying no, and all of that. But all the same, there are so many more of us who are glad that they are doing this for the sake of our future. We are seeing that our societal values, our national values are decaying. And it's teachers that we do the work to make sure that, the students get it right. As they get it right, they become doctors, they become engineers, they become teachers, they become, the different professions, so that the engine of the nation can keep running.
We want to thank you so much, Olushola Bankole, former president, FCT, National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools. Thank you for coming in and sharing your thoughts. And we do wish you and your fellow teachers and our fellow teachers, we wish you all well, hoping that the pride will continue to shine forth. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take another moment. When we'll come back, we'll be seeing what's going on again. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Residents of Jigakuchi and Shafe communities in the Federal Capital Territory have raised concerns over the lack of basic amenities like water, electricity, healthcare, and available schools. They say despite the repeated appeals to the authorities, little or nothing has been done. With the FCT Area Council elections coming up, they say they hope government will remember their appeals and urgently intervene to improve their living conditions. Well, one of our colleagues, Chisom Okafor, actually was at Jigakuchi and Shafe communities. Chisom,
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I know it wasn't an easy journey.
It wasn't.
The road was not too fantastic.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, you got to speak to the people directly. And what are the things that well, this looks like the thread amongst all the communities that we visited so far. And we're still going to visit some other ones. But talk to me about what you sensed from the people.
So, one major thing, or something that was consistent in the two communities, because we visited Jikakuchi first and then Shapi. These two communities are very close together, about like 5 minutes drive from one community to the other. So one major thing is that there is lack of roads. And then there is absolutely no water. You know, when we say no water, it's as if, okay, but there is no water, especially in Shape, where they have to go to streams. Now, I'm going to say something that many people might find, crazy or outrageous, but they actually share the stream with cows. I'll explain. So in Shape community, again, no water, and then they have to go down to the stream. They have a little bit of so it looks like man-made. So they go there to get water early in the morning, because that is when it's clean. So now, if you miss early in the morning, any other time you go to get water, you're getting mud water.
Muddy water. Yeah.
Muddy water. And then they would have to either wait for it to settle, use alum to purify it and able to use. There's a project there, or rather, I call it a building there for water, a tank. It doesn't work. It's not worked in years. In Jikakuchi community, there is this handheld one that they have to use to pump water, which is been prevailing. You could see it even when we went to the Boari as well, in Kuduru communities, in Kuchiku communities. These are the ones that you see kids, they have to, if you do not eat well, you cannot do something like that. So this is what has been prominent, no water in these places.
They are matter of the school. We just had the teacher leave here now.
Absolutely.
So if there are no schools, how do these children, how are they coping in terms of education? Are they having any education at all?
So the school, the only government school there, the LEA, is closed. It's on strike. They're on strike because the teachers are on strike. They have a private school which they manage, but not everyone can afford the private school. So that is the situation with education. Now, in the other community, Shapi, there is none. Thank you so much,
Chisom. Thank you, and keep up with the work.
Thank you very much.
All right. But let's go on to Kurudu, where the sanitation crisis, a satellite community in the Abuja Municipal Area Council has reached a breaking point as the ongoing FCT workers' strike halt all waste evacuation services. Investigations reveal that the situation is further compounded by a months-long backlog of unpaid wages for disposal workers, leaving the community buried under growing heaps of refuse. Our correspondent, Sagir Ibrahim, returned to Kuduru dump site and now gives it an update.
This is traffic that's still caused by the heap of waste that's now narrowed the way to just one lane, as you can see right now. So cars have to hold on at this very point and move in a single file because of how much waste has taken over the road. This is Kurudu, a satellite community in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, and we're back here again talking about the same thing, how heaps of dump sites across different parts of the Federal Capital Territory have overtaken areas such as it has done here, and of course it's causing a huge waste pollution. It's causing a huge air pollution, and it's also a health hazard to residents of this community. Well, thankfully, we can see that at the moment there's a huge caterpillar that's working at the moment to push the heap of rubbish, while also we see that some part of it has been set ablaze. Of course, there's been concerns that for the longest time, FCT workers have been on strike, and because of that, it has made this heap to become larger, piling up over the course of a few weeks up until this point. And that's the reason why it has gotten to this point. But of course, it's good to see that work has started. It's good to see that the heap of rubbish have begun to be pushed aside. The question, of course, is whether it will be pushed aside and then completely cleared from the roadside, so as for the hazards and, of course, the risks that come attached with it. It's air pollution. It's a risk of airborne diseases. It's also a risk of accident, and it's of course also a risk of time consumption for individuals who have activities within the town, and of course have to wait up to this point because of how much blockage it has caused on the road. But then there are individuals that we can speak to. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Muna wucewa hanya ana samun problem hanya. Shine ce mun zo wucewa mu tsaya mu dan tura shi ba wani ya samu aiki ba mai gidanmu ne ba ya samu mi aiki.
Okay, who is the Megida? Why the Megidan?
Abdul Bal.
Abdul Bal.
Limited company.
Okay. So she ba dan gwamnati ne?
Contractor ne dai.
Contractor ne shi. Okay, an ba shi contract ne yanzu na ya kwashe su abubuwan ne?
Ba shi ba saboda Allah kawai ya ce ana azan a wurin azan ya yawa ya ce a tura bola ya dan koma ya sake a tashe shi akan hanya.
The smell is just something else. I saw you waving your nose. Maybe you can talk to me if you don't mind. Just tell me how much this smell has affected your daily activities. That's the camera right there.
The thing is, this thing is always like this. After 2 weeks, you come back, this place is always like this. It causes hold up, the pollution is too much. And then most times when you pass with kids, it's always affecting the children. So I don't know what the government can do for us, but this is every 2 weeks. We get to suffer like this for a while. And then maybe a good Samaritan may complain before they remember that there's a dumb place. Maybe they can build somewhere better, people can show their...
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Joy.
Joy, thank you so much, Joy.
All right.
Well, Joy has just explained to me, of course, same sentiments, same concerns that individuals staying in this community has had. It's a menace. The smell is one thing, the odor, the stench is one thing. The risk of air pollution and the health risks that comes with that is another thing. And of course, as you can see right now, that whatever the case is and whatever has held this pile of rubbish from being cleared would be addressed as soon as possible. One of them, of course, as mentioned, is the fact that FCTA workers are currently on strike. And as a result of that, waste disposal workers have down tools. And we can see in different parts of the city, waste has been piling up as a result of that. But the expectation is all of these issues will be addressed as soon as possible to get activities moving once again within the satellite communities, especially as it relates to waste management. From Kurudu Satellite Community in Abuja for News Central, it's Agir Ibrahim.
Beyond the shores of Nigeria, the Uganda Communications Commission has fully restored internet and social media services nationwide, ending the temporary blackout during the recent voting period. The UCC Executive Director Nyombi Tembo said the measure was necessary to address national security concerns. President Yoweri Museveni secured a 7th term with 71.65% of the vote, while his main challenger, Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, received 24.72%. Bobby Wine remains in hiding, citing safety concerns. His wife recently posted a video alleging attacks on their family home, highlighting ongoing post-voting tensions. Now we're going beyond the shores of Africa, this time to the Gaza area, the occupied West Bank. We know that a lot of conversations have gone on about breaches of the ceasefire, which is supposed to be holding. But we're being joined by Israeli journalist Rolene Marks. Rolene, thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening, and always good to be on your show.
Indeed. The Gaza ceasefire situation, what's going on right now? There have been accusations and counter-accusations about breaches and here and there, but what's the situation right now?
Well, the situation as follows is that we are moving into the second phase of the ceasefire now that the last hostage was recovered by the Israeli Defense Forces yesterday. And I think it's a perfect opportunity to do this, to take off the yellow hostage pin, because now all of our hostages are finally home. So we now move into the second phase of President Trump's ceasefire plan. But what we have seen since the ceasefire went into effect in October, where we were promised the return of all our hostages, and 843 days later, we were able to recover the remains of Staff Sergeant Ran Gvili. I see the images now of his remains being returned into Israel, home for a dignified burial. And that closes a very, very painful circle for the people of Israel. But since the ceasefire went into effect, there have been opportunistic attacks on Israeli troops by members of Hamas, who President Trump has warned to disarm. This is what we are hoping to achieve in this second phase. The president has warned, disarm or you will be blown away. Now, Israel has responded whenever those ceasefire requirements have been violated by members of Hamas, which have included attacks on Israeli troops as well as rocket launchers that have been directed towards Israeli communities on the border, which is a flagrant violation of that ceasefire.
All right, thank you so much, Rolene. Thank you. Rolene Marks joins us from the Mordine in Israel. Thank you for this evening.
Thank you.
And that's the 6th edition for today. I want to thank you for being a part of it. Let's hear from you. Send your messages, Eyewitness Report, to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. Follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV on all the platforms where you can also watch News Central live, but also on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTimes 274, Able TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, I'm Neota Ibe.